Millions of aliens, extraterrestrials, live on Earth in human form, marry humans, and have happy marriages, according to claims. Have you ever wondered if some of our loved ones, friends, relatives, neighbors, your husband, wife, could be some kind of an alien or an alien hybrid? Remember what Paul Hellyer, the former Defense Minister of Canada, used to say when he was giving lectures on extraterrestrials and UFO sightings and disclosures? He claimed that we could be passing extraterrestrials on the street and we wouldn't know they were extraterrestrials because they look just like us. So could this also explain why some people behave strangely in different situations, not because they're crazy or deranged, but because they're unable to react as humans naturally would? Dr. John Joseph Dean claims to have identified several thousands of such cases during his career in the U.S. government. As a biologist and pathologist with a background in psychology, he trained at Area 51, and now the now retired doctor believes he has something to say. Quote, because of my many qualities, I can tell from the physiology and anatomy of a man or woman whether they are human or not. Statistically, there must be around 45 million aliens living in the U.S. in human form, either because they chose it or because they were born that way. I can only assume that the total global population across the Earth may exceed 60 to 70 million, end quote. He explained, among other things, that most of them work normally, usually in businesses that they have between them, from vast plantations to cafes. Several of them are doctors and healers who, yes, keep up with Western science and the laws that govern it, but they almost always heal patients with the touch of their hands or by whispering words that reorganize and regenerate the human body. Others still use herbal plants that they have brought from their planets and cultivate on Earth. And by the way, they are miraculous, especially incurable diseases, Dr. Dean explains. They don't seem to have any problem with humans adapting to our habits and our way of life. They don't have or use supernatural powers like we see in movies. However, they have enormous collective knowledge and consciousness, as well as empathy. Enormous, I would dare say. Perhaps this is why they are happily married to humans. When Dr. Dean was asked about this, he said that his assessment is that they, quote, read their partner, end quote. They have the ability to enter their minds, but not to control them. In fact, they make sure that their partners learn to do this for themselves. This way, there are no secrets and hidden thoughts. From what I understand, they don't seem to have any taboos or hidden puritanical tendencies. I'll tell you something that I'm sure will sound strange. Their moral codes are much more human than those of humans. They asked him if married people knew that their husbands were aliens. He replied that he had never asked such a thing. Apart from the fact that it would be indiscreet, it might have jeopardized their relationship. But above all, it would have jeopardized the program he was working on, which he no longer cared about. However, he replied that female wives tend to see certain signs in their alien husbands that they could easily conclude that they were aliens until they confirmed it. Perhaps some of them did. On the other hand, male husbands do not seem to have this ability. They admire and love their alien wives, but it does not cross their mind. Perhaps this is due to the prejudice which still exists among many that women are inferior to men. And then he said that in the vast majority of cases, marriages between aliens and earthlings do not have children. They cannot due to several differences. They usually adopt. However, there are also families with one or more children who are human and have alien blood flowing in them, as we would say in the popular sense, and conversely, children who are alien have human blood flowing in them. Dr. Dean immediately clarified, I don't know if these children are as happy as their mixed-race parents, or if they know or learn the truth, or if they eventually make a journey to their ancestral planet of origin. Perhaps it is not so coincidental that there is a hybrid children community which has developed and supports hybrid children from extraterrestrial parents with earthlings. However, this does not necessarily mean that they need psychological support. Rather, the opposite is true, Dr. Dean said. So if you have a happy marriage, maybe your spouse could be alien and you don't realize it, according to Dr. Dean, who could possibly confirm it. And this is compiled from information gathered, witness confessions from people who claim to have come into contact with beings into a single story, elements adapted to creative thinking and imagination inspired by the book Abduction, Human Encounters with Aliens by John E. Mack, a Harvard psychiatrist. Alien Base, The Evidence for Extraterrestrial Colonization of Earth by Timothy Good. Please leave your comments about this, and thank you for your support. My Patreon account, the daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.